What's good, y'all? Today, I'm going to talk about the easiest niches to get into when you're starting freelance brand scaling, SMMA, anything like that. So if I go ahead and share my screen here, you're going to see two tickets, low ticket and high ticket. Low ticket is a lot easier to do service delivery and a lot easier to get clients. So in that range is probably, honestly, $100 to around $500, which you'll be getting paid per month. And higher ticket, probably, honestly, 2K plus, right? So with that being said, we have low ticket and high ticket. We also have a mid ticket right here, which is probably around 1,000 to 1.5K. So honestly, if you want to go the higher ticket route, it's going to be a lot more expensive, a lot harder to get leads, and a lot harder to actually go ahead and deliver the service because these businesses are already making so much money. They're looking for professionals, right? So if you're just getting started in freelance brand scaling, I recommend doing low or high ticket. And it's pretty funny. I actually have a list of all these businesses right here. So easy, we have mobile detailing, daycare, coaches, makeup artists, hair salons, roofers, HVAC, plumbing. All the service delivery for these businesses are so easy. It's so easy, it's unbelievable. All you have to do is create a custom audience through Instagram and run broad targeting, 2 campaigns. You'll be able to get leads that way. And the reason these are easy for these leads to actually convert is because these companies don't really need a solid funnel. All you need to do is maybe call them up, or the leads will go ahead and call them. Right, medium is kind of some white collar jobs too. So we have financial advisors, accountants, dealerships, wedding planners, mortgages, event venues, anything like that. As you can see, it's all kind of in the same niche. For these, I would charge 1,000 to 1.5K for sure. Now we have hard, e-commerce brands. E-commerce brands, I wouldn't charge a retainer. I would only go strictly percentage. And the truth is, for e-com brands, out of my whole entrepreneur journey, the hardest thing I've ever done was run e-commerce ads. So with that being said, e-commerce ads is definitely the hardest one to get into if you're first starting. But you could also get into gas stations, gurus, travel agents, lawyers, dentists, clothing brands, SaaS companies. All of these have a super complex funnel that you want to get into. But all these businesses and all these companies and brands, you could charge 3, 4, 5K plus a month. So there's two different things you have to look for: easy to deliver and easy to get a client. And it's pretty simple. Both of these would kind of go into the low ticket niche right here, to be completely honest. But that's also not necessarily true. It could be very easy to get a high ticket client as well. So if we go back here, it could be extremely easy to, get a dentist, a SaaS company under your belt, right? Because the service delivery for that is honestly not that hard. And if it's a lot less saturated, it's actually very, very important. And it's pretty funny what you could actually do. You could go into the meta ads library right here, and you could kind of search up different types of niches. So if we go ahead and type in the most, common niche, let's just do detailing. As you can see, if I type in detailing, there is going to be tons and tons and tons of ads for mobile detailers, right? Let's say we go into a different niche. So if we go to the board, we go over here, let's do mortgages. As you can see, there's some, but there's significantly less. As you can see, for detailing, there's 33,000 results. And if we go into mortgages, there's only 2,300 results. That's why I would say mobile detailing, it's definitely easier to get a client because there's a lot more businesses out there. The thing is, you can make so much more money marketing for mortgages. It's a lot more untapped is what I'm trying to say. And you have a lot more opportunity to go ahead and sign these clients. So with that being said, it's going to be a lot easier to go ahead and get a client. Put it plain and simple, the less ads there are, the less competition there is, which the more likely you'll be able to go ahead and sign the client. And also, it could mean that the market is usually bigger, so more people want to go ahead and run ads. And again, you could go ahead and sign them. So if we go back to the list here, you could actually see like dealerships, wedding planners, mortgages, event venues, and even some travel agents. These are big jobs, guys. These are like probably 20K jobs. So with that being said, that's why they're willing to pay you that 3, 4K a month, because if you get them one job, they're making 20 racks, right? So this could be really good, and this could also be really bad, right? So with that being said, you're going to be generating a lot less leads for these higher ticket clients, but the AOV is so high that it doesn't really matter. So you have to be really good at service delivery to be able to actually go ahead and sign these clients first. But at the end of the day, once you show these companies that you could sign them one client, it's going to be super easy to sign more and more and more and more, because you can market to these other companies. Yeah, I generated 20K, 60K for this company, added on revenue than what they're doing. I could do the same exact thing for you, when in reality, you're only taking on 2, 3, 4, 5 more clients for them. And realistically, for these higher ticket clients, it's going to cost a lot more in ad spend to actually get a close, but it's going to be more profitable because the margin is so there. So let's just say it's a $20,000 job and it costs $3,000 in ad spend. You're profiting 17K, minus that 3K retainer. I'm not really good at math, but I'm pretty sure you're profiting like $17,000 from that one job. So if you get your client one job, they're profiting $17,000. And again, if you get them a second client, you're profiting $37,000. Another one, $57,000. If you get them 3 clients, right? So you could say, let's say you guarantee them 3 clients a month. You could guarantee them an average $57,000 profit a month. I'm pretty sure the math is wrong on that. I'm not gonna lie, but around $57,000 a month, whatever it is. The only problem is those companies might not want to run through that 3K to actually go ahead and get that 20K deal. You know what I mean? So it's a little scary at first. That's why I recommend building up a lot of results for lower ticket to then get into the higher ticket jobs, right? With freelance brand scaling, it's a volume game at the end of the day. The more effort you put in, the more results you get, the more money you're gonna make. And that's just the truth. So if you start lower ticket, gradually go up to that higher ticket, within a year and a half, I mean, you could easily hit that 100K month. But let's just say you do start off with lower tickets. So let's just go into mobile detailing, right? These mobile detailing companies are charging a $200 job, bro. So with that being said, the cost per lead has to be a lot lower. My average cost per lead for my clients is around $8 to $14. So let's just say you go on the calculator, the average job for a mobile detailing company is $300. So with that being said, you're gonna get them a job pretty soon because the ticket is a lot lower. So let's just say you have $1,000 a month in ad spend and your average cost per lead is, let's just make it easy, $10. With that being said, with $1,000 in ad spend, you could get them 100 single leads every single month. Let's say they close 10%, I believe that is 10 clients for them. So we do 300. It's an extra $3,000 a month for that mobile detailing business with only $1,000 in ad spend. Let's say they have $5,000 in ad spend. It's extra $15,000 in revenue for that mobile detailing business. And again, with the profit, they're paying you $2,000 a month. They profit $13,000 just from you added revenue. So it's very, very important you actually go through and pick a niche correctly. Like let's just say you get into real estate. Bro, you're selling a probably $1 million to $2 million home. Let's be realistic here. That commission, it's gonna take you a while and it's gonna cost you a lot of money in ad spend, probably $10,000 to $30,000 in ad spend to go ahead and maybe get that sale. To be honest, maybe more, right? So with that being said, I would be extremely smart when picking your niche. Like I said, I would always stick to the easy route when you're first starting. So with that being said, mobile detailing, daycare, coaches, makeup artists, any of these, then transition to medium. Out of these, honestly, the best would be accountants, dealerships, to be honest. Then you could transition into hard. Let's say you've random clothing brands in the past. You could definitely go back to clothing brands. Like me, you could do e-com brands, gas station, gurus, travel agents. It's pretty cool, right? And you don't have to just go ahead and market paid ads for them. You could do SMS, email, funnel building, website, anything like that. Even content, bro, right? So that being said, if I were you guys, the best niche to start in freelance brand scaling right now is either roofing, HVAC, or mobile detailing. I would get into those 3 if you're a beginner. If you have, a solid amount of clients, you're doing 5 to 10K a month, I would recommend getting into mortgages, surgeons, racetracks, dealerships. And let's say you're doing 10K a month plus, that's when you could start scaling gurus, you could start scaling e-com brands, you could start scaling lawyers, dentists, SaaS companies, anything like that. And it's pretty funny because a lot of my students are actually starting to scale up some e-com brands and some gurus as well. So that being said, if you want to get into a part of the mentorship program, I recommend you watch my entire free course, which is linked in the description. It is a full free course on how you can start freelance brand scaling from A to Z. No fluff, no nothing. It's like an hour and a half long. So I recommend you guys watch that if you really are interested in starting freelance brand scaling. With that being said, I hope this video was of value to you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.